That's that is our little brand new action sport that we developed today, because it's hard not to get incentives to get around in a better way when you've got so much motion in this town. It is quite a rapid interest to get from one place to another, and from all of this type of thinking, it has fortunately birthed a new action sport. So we made like a new action sport today. It's in essence sort of a cheeky concept, but in essence we are adding to the process of using a regular plastic alpine slide like type of sled, but it's actually a sled, a regular sled, like the type of a sled that you would go down a snow hill with, and you add rollerblade wheels to that. You add rollerblade wheels to a regular snow sled with rollerblade wheels, and this creates a new action sport. This creates a new action sport because you've got four wheels on the outside of a regular snow sled, and in essence, with the right sort of barriers in place and sort of with minimalistic abilities to be able to maneuver and also hold it in place and kind of strap it onto the sled, like it's just and also with like a little bit of a trigger remote and a battery, in essence, to be able to try to optimize the experience, to be able to have a little bit of flow by having gas, like because it's a lightweight vehicle to begin with, to be able to push it. I hope would be lighter than like an actual full-on electric skateboard, in essence, to be able to push and accelerate like the wind, in essence, to be able to try to complete the first track, like a track circuit, in essence, like in Central Park, for example, so that we can, in essence, like complete the interest to be able to develop the first vehicle for Dinky Tehc and Change for Game Studios, which in essence is also now like trying to cross over and coalesce with something I was talking about with action sports, like the action sports world, in essence. Like, so you have skateboarding, you have snowboarding, you have surfing. Those are the common ones. But in essence, we're talking about snowboarding, snow sledding, rollerblading. Not really, but it's a combination of using rollerblades on a snow sled to be able to get it to move and groove, and also with a remote control and a battery so that it has the ability to take off super quick, like a little bit of almost like a gokart, in essence, like go-kart maneuverability and like the feeling and the experience of a hovercraft, in essence, but without all of the mechanics necessarily needed to be able to develop a full-on hovercraft in the meantime. So it's like our cheapest, basic, most base model of a process of an extreme sport that at the same time is being made at the same time as making a little vehicle that would be fun to be able to get around with in NYC, for example. It's almost like purposed for that purpose, in essence, to be able to get around from Central Park to little outlets around Central Park. In essence, that's sort of the purpose, but hopefully it has a big enough battery to have the quick ups, the quick speed to be able to get up and go, and so exactly where the battery would be installed on the little spreadboard alpine slide, alpine snow sled scooter, in this instance, is unclear. It could be on the sides, it could be on the front and the back. We could have dual batteries, or just one. It feels like maybe just one, like right in the center, or even right in the back, right in the back, to be able to support being able to sit actually kind of somewhat on the battery is a little bit ideal, I suppose you could say. But the idea, the essence, the interest is to have not only like the go-kart feeling, the go-kart vibes, the go-kart interest, where you get to shimmy and shift around, but also you have kind of like a sitting skateboard vibe, in essence, like you're a skateboard, but at the same time, you, in essence, can use the plate for a plastic snow sled to be able to jump up and grind on your butt on different things, or shift onto different elements to be able to just kind of like make it almost like a sitting action sport, in essence, not quite like a bicycle necessarily, but like a sled that you have that has a powered vehicle, almost like a flying carpet with a battery on the back with a trigger, so you can be able to shimmy it around like a skate park, for example. But at the same time, it's a little bit cooler than those little two-wheeled sleds that you see driving around that are and maybe like in essence, and like the scooters, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, you get it, the Razor scooters, that extreme sport, which is not an extreme sport. It's a very peculiar addition to skateboarding in the later years, in the more recent years, which doesn't count necessarily, even though it does, which is a joke. It's a joke. It's just kind of like I'm just giving a shout out to old school skateboarding and giving props to old school skateboarding, because this is a combination of kind of all those things in essence. It uses like the wheels from the Razor scooters anyways, with all four wheels, like rollerblade wheels on the outsides of the sled, of the snow sled in essence, and you can actually do flips. Like you can flip over, you could fly around, and but you're in a sitting position, not quite like a bicycle, so you're not sitting that upright, but you're sitting down like a go-kart. And it seems like it would be the first motorized powered action sport in essence. So you have the ability to get up and go, you have the ability to travel, you have the ability to transit, you have the ability to roll with your friends, and it's similar to this vibes, but you get to sit down, and it's not quite all of the hectic nature that the rest of the different extreme sports are, in terms of like just using it as transportation and also having a motor, having an engine. But at the same time, it falls into the category of skateboarding, snowboarding, and surfing in essence, because it's lightweight, it's durable enough, you can still grind, you can do flips, and then you can ride home on it at the same time. You can jump up, jump back on it, just sit back on it and sit back a little bit, and then just ride it on home, ride it on down the street, ride it wherever you need to go. There's different modifications and versions of how exactly specifically it could be built, but the most essential element, the most essential part is just the whole bottom of it. The whole bottom side is basically bare, and you just have little struts and strides to straddle the sides that are metal based to be able to hold the wheels in place on all four sides of the snow sled, in essence, with rollerblade wheels on it, to get that experience. Oh yeah, it's a little bit hot, so I kind of forget to sing sometimes. Oh yeah, and sometimes I'm around other people too, so I forget and to not sing for that reason too, because I'm trying to be respectful of them, I guess you could say. But anyways, whatever, doesn't even matter. What I'm talking about is this extreme sport of snow sledding with rollerblade wheels on it, and you can drive it, you can ride it around like in a bowl, for example. You can get weird with it, and like the bottom can scrape. You could do like a board slide on the top of a coping, like in a bowl, for example, and then be able to try to like turn it around. It's a little bit extreme, it's a little bit intense. You don't have to do that. You could just use it as a get around vehicle to be able to just try to get from one place to another. And hopefully it's like an extreme like vibe, like just like a go-kart, like riding a go-kart, a mini go-kart in essence. That's sort of the purpose, the intention, the intent. It's like has that power from like a bicycle, like a whole bicycle, to be able to get up and go for a whole bicycle. But in essence, you're powering little rollerblade wheels at the same time, and it's like a snow sled, so it's like lightweight, hopefully as possible. You don't have all the mechanical, like heavy high-end gear from like bicycles and like alumina and all this other weight that you're trying to pull along, in essence. Although the battery is weight, the battery is definitely weight. So that is the thing. But nonetheless, it's all about the experience of like a go-kart experience within a little snow sled, and making it fun, because the ground plate makes it so you can slide and you can grind. This ground plate makes it so you can actually just slide, do board slides, for example. But at the same time, and like you can, because you're so hugged into it, you can do flips, like one to one side or another, especially if it's like obviously sturdy enough and high enough in the ground so your butt doesn't smack on the ground if you land the flips necessarily. But it's just like all these things combine, all these concepts of just getting a little weird, getting a little crazy, doing snow sledding, but on the street, while outside. And like this, in essence, I mean, it could have been done. There's a lot of things that could be done in the skateboard industry. There's a lot of innovations, in essence. Like these electric scooters came out just like a couple of years ago, for example, in essence. But I had a GoPed when I was like, I don't know, 8 years old or something like that. I bought one when I got a little TV thing. Like I did like this weird TV thing when I lived in Los Angeles for just a couple minutes when I was young, and I got a TV thing spot, and with that money I was able to get myself a GoPed at that young age, and that was pretty cool back then. It was very not the time when for some reason there were electrical batteries powering electrical scooters that were able to be rented with a mobile cell phone at that time necessarily. So anyways, fast forward to now, that is our new extreme sport. We're adding an extreme sport to the mix, and we're calling it, I don't know exactly what it's called yet. It's called extreme spreadboarding. It's what it's called. It's called extreme spreadboarding. So that's sort of the fun news for today, because in essence, we've been trying to make all kinds of different vehicles since we've been out here, especially on the Upper East Side. The Upper East Side calls upon making little vehicles that feel like you're flying, to be able to try to get around to different places and spaces. Although when I've been in other places, the other focuses have been different in other parts of the city for whatever reason, and for some reason just the West Side has caused the interest to be able to want to try to develop vehicles that has to do with floating and flying and trying to feel like hovering and things like that. But when in other places in NYC, for some reason those thoughts have not been there, which is sort of funny and strange and weird. Whatever, we made an extreme sport today. It's called extreme spreadboarding, extreme spreadboarding, and that's pretty cool, I guess you could say, because it's also the first extreme sport to be able to be played with an electric motor on the back, oh, and it's kind of difficult to be able to factor that in, to be able to land a hard landing after doing a flip necessarily, so we'll try to factor it in and hope that we can also leverage solar power so that we can have the lightest weight vehicle type of add-ons as possible. Oh yeah, we'll keep you posted on all that stuff though. And in a transition, we're also focusing on groups today. Group mindsets with the significant interest to be able to have scarcity mindset, so that when you're an entrepreneur, in essence, it's kind of like the alpine slide sled, kind of like the snow sled, extreme sport spreadboard sled that I was talking about. It's called the spreadboard because it's actually a symbol for entrepreneurship, where you have like a spread in every business, which is what you buy things at and then what you sell them at, in essence. So you have a spread. That's what the spreadboard is a symbol of. That's why it's called spreadboard, extreme spreadboarding, in essence, because it's a symbol of entrepreneurship, because you're buying and you're selling, and that vehicle helps you actually get around and travel and be able to sit still and be able to take notes in different places in different ways and stuff like that. And the fact that it's like an extreme sport also today is kind of just a cool added bonus, because all the vehicles that we've been talking about making before have just been like mostly get around thought vehicles. So now we've at least added a little bit of extreme sporting, which is kind of cool. I hope so. Like, people can go off the walls, they can bump into stuff, they can do little wall rides, they can jump, do backwards wheelies and stuff like that. It depends how durable the snow sled is with all the parts and the add-ons and such things, but I hope it's durable enough, and hopefully it's doable enough to where hopefully we'll try to find a middle ground size for the battery, so it's not too huge, so you can still land like things like flips, but then still have enough power to get up and go like 0 to 60 pretty quick in terms of the torque. I guess. So yeah, that's good times. Spreadboard, extreme sports. Yeah. But again, back to groups. We're talking about groups and leveraging groups around the world, because we want people to play the spreadboarding extreme game sports, to be able to go out like skateboarding with your friends when you're young, to be able to go and do different voluntourism and entrepreneurship kind of mindset type of activities around the world. That's sort of the purpose of developing like a group mindset, so all people are able to also, like, instead of cars, like, use this type of a spreadboard extreme sport type of vehicle, where it's like, in essence, like, it's kind of cool because you can still get around with it, you can still travel. Hopefully the battery is sufficient enough to be able to travel far lengths, and then like even a place to be able to put a separate battery if you needed to or whatever, just to be able to have excessive ability to get through the day with a significant amount of battery, and pull and press and pull and whatnot, and then you can take the extra battery out if you're going to the skate park or something and you want to do more tricks necessarily, like things like that. But it's really about having that flip over, that cross between one and the other, to be able to transition and transit and transfer the self, to be able to transport in from A to B, to be able to get places, and at the same time be able to have fun and do the extreme sports, but at the same time be able to think about business, what do you buy, what can you sell at, what can you buy at, what can you sell at, what can you buy at, what can you sell at, and then how do you also develop a cause. That developing of a cause, once you get narrow on a cause, once you get narrow on a niche, it develops a minimalist mindset, it develops a scarcity mindset, so you only get what you need in life, in essence. Because if you really want the thing where you're trying to help people, you're just trying to help people in the cause that you're trying to chase, where you want to help, try to pursue an assistance in like consistently trying to help a certain cause, a specific niche of specific helps continuously being helped in a specific niche, then everything else in the world kind of like, it's not that it melts away, but everything becomes minimalist, because you just need, just like that alpine, just like that sled, that snow sled that's electrified, called a spreadboard, just like that, it's in essence like lightening up everything. So you don't need a full car, you just have the sled, you just have the minimalist, you just need what you need to get by, so you can make the things happen, and everything else falls by the wayside, so there's the least waste and the most philanthropy energy that goes into the rest of the world, in essence. So we've got to have that mindset of minimizing everything out, and it also creates the best entrepreneurs, in essence, because their focus can expand on solving the problems around the world. So many problems need to be solved, in essence. So like, when you have the minimalist mindset, those problems, in essence, carry you, just like the lightweight spreadboard, the lightweight snow sled, electrified snow sled, spreadboard, in essence, because Because when you thin out everything else and you're just trying to solve these problems, then basically you have the ability to let go of everything else. Everything else doesn't necessarily need to matter. Everything that's drama can go by the wayside, and you just take with you in your journey what you actually absolutely need. And that's mentally and physically, meaning that it is a necessity to be able to acknowledge the significant lack that is necessary to be able to push forward. Because if you have too much abundance, if you can get access to $500 million and you just need $75, in essence, in this example, then it's ideal to spend $127 to be able to try to go ahead and push the mission forward, as opposed to trying to take on a huge sum of money of $428 million when you only need $78 to be able to try to facilitate the mission with exactly what's needed, with the lightest weight behind it that's absolutely necessary to carry the mission forward. And then you can invest the rest of the $500 million, basically, is the purpose of this, because you just have the rest of the assets being spread out in the right places in the world with the right people, whereas your mission as an individual, as one person's individual, as an entrepreneur, they ride this extreme spreadboard in this instance, in this interest, to be able to make this extreme sport that has to do with philanthropy energy around the world. But at the same time, I talked about it 2 days ago, being a commit to action sport. This is a commit to action sport after all, because committing to action is the only other energy, business energy in the world combined with, or in comparison, to money energy. Money energy is one energy that has to do with all the business energy in the world, and the other one is commit to action energy. Every single contract employee in the world is based on committing to action, based on a contract that has to do with fulfilling certain tasks again and again during the year to attain a salary, to get the money, to earn the money. So it is the commit to action industry that actually is being played when using this spreadboard, this alpine slide, this sled with wheels on it, in essence. This electrified snow sled with wheels on it, also known as a spreadboard. So this is a new extreme sport. Hopefully we'll leave it there, because we want to develop a group mindset. We want to develop a group mindset, so the whole world can play together in this commit to action extreme sports and normal extreme sports type of sport, to be able to play this together and actually have fun and play and do tricks. And also adults can still participate in this, like adults do in skateboarding as well. But this is the new purpose of this new little vehicle called the spreadboard. Oh yeah, it's representing entrepreneurship and especially philanthropy energy around the world. Oh yeah, tell all your friends to bring your groups and get groups together to be able to make more extreme sports, commit to action extreme sports around the whole world, especially starting with the spreadboard and other, hopefully, Dinky Tehc and Change for Game Studios products and similar type of stuff that hopefully we can continue to put out into the market. Okay, alright, thanks again, bye Dinky Tehc, bye, peace, bye.